another episode of Kamika's Heavenly Journey. I'm so happy that you're here with me. All my old and new subscribers, welcome. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that. I want to share something with you that I believe that God wanted me to share with you this morning as I was reading through the book of Judges. And so that you can understand, Judges, in this book, the Israelites were at a place where they were in bondage again. They had been disobedient to God once again, and as a result of that, the Lord gave them into the hands of the Midianites who were oppressing them, and it had been 7 years. So in chapter 6 verse 11 it says, "The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak in Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abizrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in a winepress to keep it from the Midianites. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, 'The Lord is with you, mighty warrior.'" In verse 13, "But sir," Gideon replied, "if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our fathers told us about when they said, 'Did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt?' But no, the Lord has abandoned us and put us into the hand of Midian." The Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you?" And I'll pause there. Some of us, or many of us, have been given instructions by the Lord. He has told us what it is that he desires for us and what he wants us to do. Whatever it is, we may have been given instructions. Now, if you have been given an instruction and you followed it straight, as in you didn't hesitate and you went through with it, just as the Lord asked you to do, then wonderful. God bless you. So for some of us, like Gideon, it might not have been so straightforward. But if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, and he does have a calling and a purpose for every single one of his children, then you will receive instructions and you will be asked to do things that God has for you to do. So I wanted to just show you what happened in this instance with Gideon. So initially, I want to point out one thing. The very first time the angel of the Lord sat beside Gideon, he said these words. These were the first words that came out of his mouth. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." It was almost like it was like a greeting. Like he affirmed Gideon even before saying what it is that he wanted him to do. He affirmed him. I want somebody to know this. You don't need to wait until an angel comes down from heaven and tells you who you are. You know what God says about you because it is written in his word. So be prepared to receive a message from God and not doubt, because you already know who you are. Now, there are some verses here, and there are so many in the Bible, that God said that he created us in his image in Genesis chapter 1. In Jeremiah 29, he says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." In Ephesians 2, he says, "For we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus for good works." And I could go on and on about what God says about us. But just know that if God has spoken to you, He has spoken to you as the person that He sees you as, not what you think of yourself. And let me give this an example to you, because in verse 15, when God says, after the Lord said, "Am I not sending you?" He responded in verse 15, "But Lord," Gideon asked, "how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." Gideon is already putting himself down. He's saying essentially that he's not capable of doing what the Lord has asked him to do. Even after the angel had said to him that he is a mighty warrior and the Lord is with him. In verse 16, the Lord answered, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites together." Gideon replied, "If now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me. Please do not go away until I come back and bring my offering and set it before you." And the Lord said, "I will wait until you return." I want you to know today who you are, who God created you to be, in whose image you were made. As you read on in chapter 7 of Judges, Gideon defeated the Midianites. He was obedient, but at first he doubted. I want to tell you today, don't doubt. Follow God's leading, and don't let anything else talk you, not even yourself or anyone else, tell you that you are not able or that you are not capable, because you are. If you were not, then God would not have placed that task in your hands. He would not have given you that responsibility. He would not have taken you this far. You are able because God says you are. I want you to believe who you are today. I want you to, instead of telling yourself what you are not, tell yourself who you are. Gideon said he was the least in his family. God said he was a mighty warrior. Two completely different things for the same person. Can you imagine? The same person was hearing two different reports. Which report are you going to believe today? Are you going to believe your report? Someone else's report? The report of what has happened to you in the past? Or are you going to believe the report of the Lord? I hope somebody is strengthened and encouraged by this message today. May you walk completely in the glory of God and be obedient to everything that He has for you. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.